there was a long war between the house of David and the house of Saul. You might have passed through so long wars, so many wars. I have a good news. Everyone must end with praise if you are a praiseful person. There was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. And David grew stronger and stronger. And what happened? And the house of Saul became weaker and weaker. What was the secret? What was the secret? He was a man that knew the dynamics of God. 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 1. Listen. When God wants to shift you to the next level, He gives your enemy speed to chase you. Follow me. He gives your enemy speed to chase you. Because they need to chase you to hit a wall that will make you to bounce back with strength. When God is about to change your status, your enemies increase in numbers. And that chasing brings you into warfare. Bible says, fight a good warfare as a soldier of God or in Christ Jesus. When the battle is strong, Bible says when we are weak, then we are strong. When the battle want to swallow you, don't look far. Your God is very close. When the woman with the issue of blood noticed that she smells the more, that was when the idea of touching the hem of the garment showed up. Listen, in that tumult of your life, in that joblessness, in that challenge, that is when God is closer. Because your enemies don't fight a nobody. Enemies fight you because they have seen you better. They might be driving Jeep and you are riding, you are cruising, or you are riding bike. It doesn't matter. You might be on motorbike, they might be cruising Jeep. They might still be your enemy. Because what you are seeing, they are not seeing. And what they are seeing, you are not seeing. So, when you are about to testify, that is when demons of hell fight you. Do you know that the highest point, the greatest point that Jesus was attacked is when he was on the cross? And that was the end of his war for mankind. Bible says the entire hell broke loose on Jesus. And the battle was strong. And Jesus said, Lord, why have you forsaken me? Let me put it this way. The battle was strong to the extent that Jesus felt the absence of God. And when he felt the absence of God, that was when he died. He could have not died if he never felt the absence of God. Never stay or never come to a point in your life when you think God is not around you. No matter what. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And when he gave up, he died. He went to hell. God that left him visited him in hell and he brought him out. And the Jesus that knocked before entering, he does not need to knock. He will just appear and disappear. Hear me? David was a man that operated like Jesus. He was appearing and disappearing. As I'm rounding up, when Saul noticed David is somewhere, Saul will go after him. That is the war. The moment Saul appeared, God will hide David under the shadow of his hands. And that is why he said, he that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Guess what? Saul and his entourage will pass David, but he will not be able to see David nor his men. And time without number, Saul was taken unaware by David, but David did not kill him. Listen to me, people of God. The predicament in this world is so much, but God is much available. Where sin abides, grace abides more. Forget about what is happening in this country. The more the challenge, the stronger the presence of God.